don't you?
Good.
Hell yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, it's huge honor. Love the project. Been listening to the band for a year and a half now, and we've been playing you on the radio show, and the reaction is amazing. Quebec, love you. But maybe for people that don't recognize all your beautiful face or beautiful voice, who the hell are you?
Beggars Canyon. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Welcome for the first time to Prescription Punk Rock. You are part of a beautiful family called Flail Records. It's an amazing scene that are conquering the world, and it's different from punk rock of my generation. I'm 42, and it's really excited. It's exciting to see the evolution of every band, the evolution of the label, and the human behind are pretty rad and original. But I'm curious. Let's get back to when it started up, how that crazy idea came up, and how the band started up back in the days.
Well, I actually started playing with Bridge City Sinners back in 2014, 2015 in a band called the Lonesome Valley Pussyfooters. Super fun, super good scene. They were so jazzy, and we were just this awkward three-piece folk band. Melissa was in that. And that's really where that relationship blossomed for me. That's how I met Mike as well. He was in Country Trash.
Yeah. So I think that we kind of came together because, you know, the Pussyfooters, right? Ian and Melissa had played shows with, I think, another band, Country Trash, right?
Yeah.
Which was Michael, and I had played with them for a little bit too. And then we all just sort of ended up getting together. Me, like, I think you had just moved to town, like.
Yeah, I had just moved to Portland. I'd been here maybe 3 months, met these two at an open mic and started hanging out with them. And yeah, crashing his couch a lot and just playing music like every single day.
Yeah. Right. And it was the five of us started it out. And we
In 2017.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
2017.
Yeah. And another band that we loved, Wicked Shallows, that's where Kyle came from.
My old band.
Right. So he played fiddle with them, and we just sort of absorbed him over time.
Yep. Joined up in like 2019, and we became our full force.
We stole him.
Yeah.
Still not.
He was kidnapped. Please help him. But it's cool because, like I said, it's original and it makes sense because you all knew each other and all connect through music back a couple of years, and then you all get together. And like you said, right now, I feel it's a kind of force of nature. And what I loved about that scene is you bring back kind of simplicity where it's not that important to play your instrument like the fattest or whatever, like being the more greatest, player. You play with your heart and you give everything, like the energy and the passion, the heart. So I think it's why it's working and reaching so much people. I think people want to get back to where music starts, without all the subgenre like trash metal, punk, crossover, whatever. And it
Right.
doesn't mean, you don't get what the band is all about, and you have to listen. That's the thing.
Yeah. And I think something else that would come across is like, as a band, we're friends first and a band second. We're truly like a family together.
Solid family.
Like, we're together even when it doesn't involve music.
Right. That's also why it takes us so fucking long to get anything done.
Yeah, the typical punk rock dysfunctional family. But it makes sense. But it's true. It's a family thing, and I think it's great because, yeah, at some points that's what important, like the bound behind the people involved in the music and the chemistry, of course, but also like the music. I think that people sometimes forgot in their quest. It's all about the fucking music. It's a living thing, and then even if you have success, money, whatever, it's always the music that puts you there, what you create and what's, people see differently and hear differently. Was it natural for you when you start working together? Maybe like the band right now, is it more easy for you to write that, and was it something that came naturally, that song?
I would say yes.
Yeah, it felt.
I feel like even when a single person brings a song into the group and we haven't written it together, we allow everybody the freedom to play their own part and be their own sound in that collective, you know?
Right.
And I think that is the sole reason that all of our eclectic tastes have been able to come together to, you know, make Beggars Canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
when we have shows or something where like not all of us can be there and you remove one, you know, part of the band, it sounds off because we write all our parts around each other. So it's like we can't really like, it's weird to fill in those parts if someone's not there.
Yeah.
Like I can't even say how much like Kyle joining the band has played,
Oh,
how changed how I play so many songs. There's a song on our first record that I think of a lot, Pleasure for Pain, that I play totally different on the mandolin now because Kyle brought some stuff to it, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm changing it up now for the better. Let me say that, for the better.
yeah.
But yeah, and you're right. I think that it has to be a challenge at some point where you want to evolve as a musician, also as a human being and songwriter. And sometimes it takes the right person, and it just drive you to go like further, and stepping your game in a way. And it's cool that it happened, because like since day one, I felt that that project had something special. But like seeing growing up and see the reaction of people and people getting more into it, it's crazy. Did you felt that the pandemic accelerate like, or make more people get aware of the band because they got more time? Because I'm one of those who discovered the band during the pandemic.
I personally felt like it almost broke us. Like it was kind of hard to bounce back. But then because like right before the pandemic, we like it was noticeable that our traction was like taking off, and then the pandemic happened, and then just coming back and the state of the world and people's like just like their like how they just like we're taking it in the world, that they it's hard to bounce back from it for sure.
Yeah, I feel like during the pandemic we definitely got a little bit stagnant in our presence, but when we first started getting back together, we were really kind of putting the nose to the grindstone, writing more music, new music, and working ahead. And on social media, like I've kind of like you, I've seen a lot of like, I discovered this band in 2020, during the height of the pandemic, when we went to Muddy Roots this past year. There were a lot of people. There's somebody that drove up from Texas that discovered us during the pandemic and has been waiting all this time to see us.
Yeah, it's been cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that
Yeah.
we had a lot of stuff in the works when the pandemic hit, and it kind of fucked it up for us. Like we had to like cancel some short tour plans and stuff like that. But I think that as people kind of bounce back, there's been like a hunger to get back out. Like people missed going out to see music so much. And so being able to be there to offer ourselves and our music as people are able to get back out and go see music again, I feel like you can really tell that there was like a gaping hole in all of everyone's heart. So I'm happy to be able to be part of filling that,
It was actually this album that we're about to release that we were trying to write.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years.
And
3 years later.
and I think what Matt said about hunger also applies to the band. Like I feel like we're hungry right now.
Yeah.
We're feeling it too.
Yeah.
And
If I
you're
can-
right. I think it's the good word. And people understood how much important culture is for our life. It's really something that help us, mentally. People create. I don't know. They feel more liberated in a way, because if you don't get, that stuff out, it melts with the brain and creates something weird. So yeah, and it was the first time we were confront to our demons, not running from them because of the society and the lifestyle we got, and all the thing that can, make us forget that at some point we have to be happy and comfortable with ourselves. And a lot of people through creation got that, I think. So yeah, it's really interesting the music that came after that and that was creating during that time. And it was different for every band. I spoke they've been through some, like, if we don't get together we cannot do anything, and some were like, oh, we were already using Zoom because that guy is out of town. So, and it push you to the boundaries, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think for us, we had a lot of traction for like, we were just getting on little tours and stuff and just having lockdown hit. It was hard to tell where live music was gonna go to even. And so that was kind of where we lost, I don't know, lost our traction for a minute there.
The drive, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
you
we
took,
found it.
Yeah, it's back. Yeah.
yeah, but you took a step forward, and you know, it makes you think and make you ask. And I think that when you do that process, it makes you, you know, you remember why you do this. And when it came back, like you said, I think that hunger is still there, that passion, that it gonna take more time to lose, you know. Because every band is Spinal Tap at some point. So when you think and overthink about it, you're like, oh, just fucking do it. You're fucking awesome. We want you on the road. So I'm curious. It's gonna be because you're all there and it's cool. And I'm curious, how did you start discovering music when you were kids? I don't know the order we can start, but I'm curious how you start your quest discovering music and how you came to play, each one of you.
I'll start. Michael Malzone here. I would say that like my parents definitely helped me along that way. Like my mom just always like really shoved like a lot of like rock and roll, like Led Zeppelin and such, like down my throat. And then like around like 15 years old, I just picked up an acoustic guitar one day, and it was just, the rest was history.
I started playing upright in Melissa upright. I started playing in middle school. I didn't want to play upright, but it's all the band, the orchestra band had, and I was so bummed. But I was like, oh, this is actually sick. But I think I started discovering music. My family is pretty into music, whether it's like cooking in the kitchen, you're listening to music, or my grandpa sang mariachi for most of his life. He still does. So I think that was another gateway and a motivation to really go with what felt right with music, you know what I mean? And Upright definitely has that nostalgia with a lot of Mexican music for me too. But yeah. And I love Cher, so you know, that's another gateway.
I think for me in my house is like my parents would put on the same music all the time, so it was always either Beatles or Steely Dan. And I love the Beatles and I fucking hate Steely Dan. So like, the music was always around. We always had a piano in the house, right? Like we were all the siblings, I have a brother and sister, we were all piano lessons when we were younger and stuff. So music was always around, but it really wasn't until, the early teens when I found punk rock and then found, the electric guitar that I really started participating in playing a lot. So punk got me into music, like Against Me and No Effects, that kind of like skate punk era. That was what really drew me in, and where I was like, I want to play this, I want to perform this. It's funny now to go from that to playing in a band like this. It's like I play the accordion, which just came out of I played keys and I wanted to move around a little more, and I had a piano instructor who played accordion, so I was like, can I try that? And it just stuck, and it was really great timing too, because I started playing that not long before we started this band.
Yeah.
That was a huge excuse just to keep playing and progressing, was getting together with you guys to practice, really just practice my instrument.
You've never knew.
It just kept going. Yeah.
It's funny because I think about all the times that I've put Steely Dan on around you and been like, check out the and you just I wasn't aware that you hated it.
Yo, it's just gonna be Steely Dan all day.
Yeah.
Tour playlist, man.
My next? Okay. Hey, I'm Kyle. I guess I've always been around music. My my dad played guitar. I don't know, like he'd play guitar around campfire right before we went to bed. So that's where my guitar inspiration comes from. But my parents had me in like orchestras on violin at first grade, like 6 years old, and just had me going to like 3 orchestras a week. I hated playing classical music, so like 8th grade, I quit. I was like, I'm playing guitar. I'm fuck this. I'm doing my own thing. I want to play punk
Fuck the
rock.
world, I'm playing guitar.
And they were like, all right, but you're in lessons every week and like group lessons. So
Well, we appreciate it.
so yeah, guitar all through high school, and as soon as I could jump in bands and start my own bands, I was doing that until I found these fine folks. And here I am.
I'm Ian. I play guitar. Man, I was writing songs as a little kid, 6, 7 years old. I remember plucking away at a piano. And I found that 2 notes work together and then 3 notes, and then you could do 3 notes here with a melody line. So it was just always a thing. And then I got to play clarinet in grade school, and then found choir and barbershop quartet and musical theater and just all these other things that school would give me. I actually didn't discover like punk or metal or anything like that until I was closing in on 17, 18. Like all my friends had already gotten into the punk scene, and I got left behind doing all the nerdy shit. But yeah, that's where I took off, and then I played in like progressive metal bands that sound pretty much like Tool for several years, and then here we are, acoustic band.
It all comes back to
Yes,
it.
I feel like my dad.
It's weird because I feel like we all listen to like punk and like harder music, but then we play like bluegrassy and dark acoustic music together, and it's fun.
Yeah, like I mostly listen to like metal and doom and like other like adjacent type sounds, and then I have Beggars Canyon.
Yeah, that's just the sound that comes out of us, I guess.
Oh, I've had all this time to think about it, and I have not. So I guess that off for me. Oh, Mike, Ty, mandolin. I guess it starts out pretty young for me. I grew up in the church, a Southern Baptist church. So just every Sunday, the whole congregation singing, Baptist hymns and shit like that. That kind of piqued my interest initially. And then I kind of dove into sports and gave up on music stuff until I bought my first guitar, and I quit playing football and learned I like playing guitar and getting stoned a whole lot more. Yeah, I started my godfather gave me my first guitar, told me to learn a song, I could have it. I learned a song, I got the guitar. And then I started playing in some like D-beat punk bands and stoner doom and deathcore. Until my father really turned me on to bluegrass with he's like, oh, you think that's dark? Listen to this. And it's a song called Knoxville Girl by the Lugan Brothers. And if you have the chance to pull up the lyrics, they're dark. And so started playing that stuff and joined a couple bluegrass bands, some pop punk bands, and eventually moved out here and met them. I'd been playing mandolin maybe about 6 months before I linked up with this band. And now it's like my main instrument.
This is amazing. That's a fucking cool story. And yeah, I kind of understand the originality behind that project. And I think that, the most interesting musicians are the one that are open mind. So it's cool to see the background, listening to every style of music and bring that together with your personality. I think that's why it's such an interesting project. And you can find metal, you can find punk rock, you can find all those elements and all those cultural reference to like you said, the mariachi, and then the Mexican culture and everything, and it's all bring together in a weird way that it's working, and I love it, man. I'm so hooked. And I was, I never was somebody that went to the nostalgia thing, and that's why maybe I'm still doing a radio show. I love the new stuff. I love what's exciting, and I love seeing scene and something that build brick by brick and see it grow and explode. And I think that's what happening. So when I learned about Flail Records, I went to all of those bands and I was like, man, they all have their signature. It's all different. And in the world I am, there's so much band that choose to sound like what they love, and it's cool. It's a choice, but it's not what I'm into. I'm into something that, God damn it, I never heard something like that. Where those guys and girls came from, damn it. And I love it. And that's exactly my reaction with that band. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, Flail Records is doing some great things right now. Like I'm really proud to be a part of that family.
Yep.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
The diversity on there is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the chance to see recently like the Bridge City that came to Quebec, and also like Escape from the Zoo was there, just from Days and Days. They were like at the and Flail would discover them really at the beginning, and it's cool that it grow up so cool. But it's cool to see that the scene is also really special and open mind. It's a really safety scene. People are always freaked by those people with blue hair and pursing and everything. But you get into the scene, we're all human being that went through a lot in a way in a short period of time because of society and the way we're living right now. Maybe the technology didn't help at all, but yeah, and we're like surviving in that, and it's kind of beautiful and harmonic in a way. And when we catch you live, we see all that live, and that's the thing. And I'm sure people that saw you will agree. I'm sure you're a live band, because when I heard those songs, I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna like live. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're true on that.
Yeah.
I think we flourish live for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been a trip too being a part of the Flail stuff, because I mean there's a good amount of diversity just on that label.
Mhm.
So it's crazy being on bills with like Escape from the Zoo, where it's super crunchy and just like you're getting screamed at, and then we come out and we're like 6-part harmony. Then there's always like singer-songwriters,
Yeah.
just straight up country and stuff. So it's cool to see a scene where like all of these things get to be represented at the same time, and that people are enjoying all of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could stack a flail bill in a way I wouldn't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's amazing, and it's people sometimes are like, oh yeah, really? But yeah, I felt like Flail Records is kind of doing what Epitaph and Fat Wreck did back in the days, or Dawn on Us, or Lookout, whatever you take it. It's really independent, but they're really conquering the world because the band are good, and everybody was waiting for a new scene, I think. I love punk rock and but like the Pistol, at some points we need young kids to say, "You're old, you're not cool anymore. Here, what's the new thing?" And it's cool, like destroying what we love to build something different. And the Flatliners got a title of records that I love, which is "Destroy to Create," and I think it's right. And we're creating something different, and that's why it's an honor like to play you, because it's different, and I know like sky is the limit, and I'm sure you see that. A lot of people's getting more, like I said, knowing the band because the name is out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely, as of late, been a growth in the fan base.
Mhm.
Probably pinpointing back toward Muddy Roots, I think that was a nice bit of exposure for us, and
Yeah.
yeah, we've been feeling it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, Muddy did good things. And that was like
Great.
a magical place
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that shit, when we showed up and it was just like fucking getting just screamed at by hardcore bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time.
Like, I don't know. That was so fucking fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a blast.
Yeah, and then we had that worry, like, what if no one watches our show? Like, we're out here in Tennessee, we're, from the Pacific Northwest, who knows us.
Mhm.
And the whole tent is full when we're playing and people know our words, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Heartwarming. Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. I was glad I
Yeah.
was because I walked on stage, I was like tearing.
But that's the ultimate reward, seeing people singing those songs like you struggle to create and wrote. and seeing them just like dedicated. But in a way, you deserve it because you work your ass, and like I said, the music is good. So it's always just a matter of time sometimes. But I think everything was linked together. And yeah, people like you said, they want to have good times. We know. We don't want to go inside again. And yeah. And the other thing is like, I'm repeat myself, I'm 42, but I've been like for the last 10, 15 years, people of my generation like, oh, there's no kid in the scene, man. This ain't gonna die. And I'm like, no, man, punk ain't gonna die, metal ain't gonna die. It's there. It's gonna always be there. The concept is so pure and good that, there's kids that don't want to be like Dragon Force or whatever metal band that it takes. Uh,
Yeah.
and they just want to have fun, and that's the thing, and it's happening everywhere. And I would be so pissed if I was 17 being stuck 2 years. Whoa, shit, I don't know what I would do. It
Yeah.
would not be great.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
No.
So we all seeing that, those little band explode everywhere, and it's so cool. It's happening around the world, and it's cool. And then I'm sure that, like I said, you're gonna have so much more for the next years because, like, you have a good fan base, but it's gonna be good to see with the new record, the new fans getting to people know the name and they're waiting for the new song. So, how was the process of writing? Is it still more harder with times, or with the experience you're getting maybe more easy? Let's challenge.
I feel like we've gotten better at writing together.
Mhm.
I feel like for me personally, writing songs is way, way, way harder now that I'm like, I have a real job and I make money and I'm not struggling and life's like pretty good. So I just struggle to write songs when I'm not depressed, I guess.
Yeah. That's a good.
But when I sit down and we work on music, musically, everything goes really well. We
Mm.
When we have the bones for a song, we take off pretty fast on it, and
Mhm.
we can finish it up.
Yeah.
But that being said, though, our songs are like they're constantly evolving here and there. You're always thinking of better hooks, better licks you can do, and then of course, like you just recorded a record, you're like, oh fuck, I wish I could go back.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
That's what the live record's for.
Yeah.
That's what the live record's for.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you
sure
get it. Like the
Definitely
live
some
record is for what you didn't do in the studio, and you can evolve the songs and not paying like time studio.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's real.
But yeah, like I said, music is a living thing, so it's cool that it's not still that hard, but still a challenge. Because I think it need a little struggle to, to put like when you cook and you burn yourself, or you're swearing and you're like, and then you fucking taste it and it's amazing, man. It's way better than
Oh, that's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
And I think we're lucky too, because there's 6 of us, so any one of us can show up with like a little snippet of an idea and be like, oh, okay, this is something I'm excited about. And then everybody gets to put their hands on it and it turns into something completely different. But being able to have 6 sources of inspiration instead of just one songwriter, because everybody's super involved.
Well, that was one of our rules going into it is if somebody has an idea or a thought or whatever, we stop and we try it. No matter what. If you're pissed off that we're stopping to try an idea, take a breath, give it a shot. And if the consensus says, hey, this actually works really well,
Yeah.
maybe you have to rethink the way you see that and the way that you envisioned that particular part to be, and concede because there is a consensus, there is a ruling. And it's nice to have that companionship with a bunch of people whose opinions I trust.
Yes.
I can pinpoint for me when that happened, it was Withered.
Yeah.
When we
ripped it apart.
ripped that song apart, tore it to shreds. Particularly the ending. Did we end it that way on the record? But it's this dramatic slowdown, and I was not about it initially.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that. Hey man, chill out for a second. Let's do it. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of the song now.
Yeah.
But I hated it then. But it's piggybacking off what Ian said. Like, stop, take a breath. this could be a great idea, and it absolutely was.
Mhm.
But it's such an interesting point, and maybe it's gonna be the reason why music's gonna be better than ever in a couple of years. It's because when the label, signed those band, Green Day, Offspring in the 90s and inject money, they were looking for that special sound that was forged by trying thing that, nobody said, oh, you have to try it or try that. Nirvana broke all those rules, and it opened the door to garage band to have a success and a huge career, not being like the flavor of the moment and doing all those fucking rules label want you to do. And it kind of went apart in 2004, 2005, and the scene slowed down, kind of not fade away, but was more, it was not mainstream anymore and was just underground. So, and let's 10 years and seeing you guys trying and making mistakes and open that door again that maybe prog band understood in the 70s. You have to try. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but at the end people gonna realize and gonna have something that it's real, not perfect, not like that polished gem. But I think that's why music is good. It's because it came from the dirt and struggle, and then but it's still that fucking gem.
Absolutely.
So continue that way. I think it's a good.
And
Yeah, I was gonna be. The year is almost done, so it's weird question. But I was gonna be 2024. Is there any chance to see you in Quebec and Canada? Because we will love to have you here.
We are in talks about it. Yeah, we haven't really like sat down and like focused on what that looks like, but absolutely. Like, I mean, we would all like,
Basic, yeah.
but we do plan on touring next year, so that might be the one
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
or two,
Yeah.
I would like to tour as much as possible, but
Yeah.
all being like us getting older, in our 30s and stuff, and having jobs and responsibilities, it is a little tougher to pull those triggers.
Yeah, and it's just the start.
Yeah. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Bookers from everywhere in Canada and Quebec, and festival, Poudre Fest, Deluge, J'envoie les macadam, Rock la Cause, whatever, road them. We want to see them in Quebec. That would be rad. And yeah, we gonna wait. And of course, have fun with the release. Can't wait to hear the whole thing. I'm sure it's gonna be that masterpiece. 3 years. Who
Yeah.
cares, man? It didn't take 17 years like fucking Guns N' Roses. And how much million waste in that album?
Only a
It really
couple.
sucks, by the way.
I mean, ours was like 4 million less to make, so.
A couple million less.
Yeah.
The Chinese democracy should be like, the Baron for everyone. Like, yeah, if the album don't make it good, whatever, he ain't gonna be Chinese democracy. You're right. You're right.
It was a rough record.
Yeah, they're gonna sue me after that interview.
Axel's coming after you, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your times. What's the best way for people that have music budget to encourage you?
God, probably via social media. Instagram, Facebook's probably one of the easier ways to get up with us.
Spotify, always use Spotify. You can do it for free. It's so easy.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, just wherever streaming happens, and then hit us up on our socials. We're always on those and active.
Yeah.
They're amazing, they don't want to sell you anything. Listen to our music free. You're right.
If you need to go get some Beggars merch, you can go to Flail, flailrecords.com.
Yeah.
You can find all of our stuff on there.
Good plug. Thanks for the
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah.
Thank you, Flail.
Stony band.
No, because I know, like, a lot of people like me, kids grow up and they have music budget. So, of course, help the band. We want to see them here. Gas cost a lot. But like you said, the economy is kind of falling slowly right now. And we know it's hard time for everybody. So if you don't have any money, it's everywhere. It's available everywhere. Spotify, of course. I think if you want to put a couple of times Bandcamp on Friday, I think it's all go to the band. So help them out if you can. If not, listen to the song, learn them, and sing them loud.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I really had a blast. You're really amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
Eric.
man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a huge special in a couple of weeks. We're gonna play shitload of songs, and thank you for your time. People go listen to them, and we're gonna make the whole interview available video on our YouTube channel and make all the link available below. So yeah, thank you. You're amazing.
Yeah,
You're
thanks, man.
amazing.
We really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And then I'm waiting for you in Quebec.
Yeah.
We'll be served.
Be there.
And let you know.
Firmly. No, beer's gonna be on me, or coffee, or whatever you drink, whatever.
Remember you said that.
Yeah, it's gonna be on me. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be proud of that. You know. They
Fuck
cost
you.
me $1 million. Those fucking asshole. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
No more inhibition, set yourself free. Just let go, that's my only plea. I confront prescription and